but wanted to show you the bike before we got going. This is a saddlebag. Goes right. My name is Michael and I'm a filmmaker. My partner and I just moved from Washington State to South Carolina to escape the rain.
Go get it.
The two states couldn't be more different. And I still haven't gotten the opportunity to explore as much as I'd like to. But today, I have some free time. I want to explore and see something new. I'm going to an interesting location. A lake just northeast of Charleston. I'm not sure what I'm going to find there. But I'm pretty confident it's something I'd never see in Washington. I would have loved to just ride all day, but I just can't. I think my back's hurting too much. It's getting dark. The sun is setting at the very same time that I arrived at a landmark. Just find this cemetery, and the cemetery is full of Confederate soldiers. I don't even know what it means.
I've never heard you come back from a bike ride talking about a cemetery.
I just was shocked that they were still standing. That's what I was taken aback by. I was like, I'm in a graveyard of Confederate soldiers and all of the gravestones are intact. And there's a Confederate flag in here and they're not defaced or graffitied.
And you assumed they would be.
Yeah, I did. Because anywhere else in America, these places I've lived, there's no way in hell that gravesite would still be there. It would be seen as a symbol of hate. And so why isn't it a symbol of hate here? Discovering the preserved Confederate gravesite piqued my interest. I wanted to find out who was related to the people buried there. Who may have placed the flags of this deceased family, and I just want to see if their obituary had been published.
Oh, there it is. It actually is in there. Check that out.
Oh, wow.
And you can take a photo
there
of
it.
There it
is.
Yeah, you can.
Wow.
But you get the idea. What you can do, you can send it to our print system. It's just 10 cents to print. You can you can email it to yourself.
But you got a lot of info on the people who died. First thing is we're going to call all the people in Monk's Corner who are Eddie and see if they know anyone who was buried there or if they're related.
So did you call anybody from that list at the library?
No, actually what I did is I just went on Facebook and I found a group who's associated with the cemetery, and I found this woman whose great-great-grandfather is buried there at the cemetery. And so I messaged her and I said, do you want to talk about the cemetery and what it means to you? So I sent her a list of the questions, and we're just waiting to hear back from her. I really want her to respond.
You gotta get in the left lane.
Thanks. Thanks, Jane.
You're gonna miss the exit.
Okay, that's it. I guess it'll just stop. Hey, Penny, you ready to listen to Cindy?
My name is Cindy, and I do volunteer work for the Daughters of the Confederacy. Lake Marion and Lake Moultrie were made for Santee Copper Electric to make hydroelectric. The little towns were flooded, and many people's family lands were taken. The land where the plantation stood is now under the waters of Lake Moultrie. The cemetery now stands on the Santee Cooper Authority property. The people in the cemetery are my Edie ancestors. In the records, it says that the boys, JJ, Daniel, and Robert Eddy, were mulatto. Jonathan Eddy, Daniel's father, was pretty consistently identified as a free person of color, even had to pay a person of color tax for himself and his eldest daughter to Charleston. My husband and I go up every year on Confederate Memorial Day and place flags on JJ and RB's graves and clean it up a little. It was the flag that over 25 of my ancestors fought under. It does not stand for white supremacist or pro-slavery. The South did not invent slavery.
Cindy and her husband had placed the flags. Cindy tells me the Confederate flag is not a symbol of hate. I'm still left wondering, are there more memorials? Does Cindy's opinions represent the whole of South Carolina?
Wow.
I traveled to the nearest Charleston cemetery to see just how ubiquitous Confederate memorials were. It didn't take much effort. It was at that moment in the cemetery that I ran into another photographer named Don.
I'm Don Williams, wildlife photographer here in South Carolina. I've been doing it for about 5 years.
Does it bother you that there's Confederate?
I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I can't, my life, I can't get ahead in life by living in the past. You know, I understand the history of it all, but it don't faze me. It's like, okay, I come here and I see, I'm like, okay, I see people coming and celebrating it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're here to take pictures.
I'm gonna do what I do.
To be honest, Don's opinion surprised me. But much like Cindy, does Don's opinion represent what all South Carolinians think? Is there anyone out there who sees the flag as a symbol of hate? Or is it just me? On the evening of June 17th, 2015, a mass shooter took the lives of 9 African American people at a Bible study at a church in downtown Charleston.
When that murderer held up that Confederate flag, he hijacked it from them, and he turned it into a hate symbol. And we could not have a hate symbol on the grounds of the State House.
On July 10th, 2015, Governor Nikki Haley of South Carolina signed a bill that would remove the Confederate flag from the state grounds in Columbia. It was the first time the flag had been lowered in 54 years since the Civil Rights Movement. Governor Nikki Haley said it was a new day in South Carolina. Just a few days ago, I was walking in downtown Charleston on our way to dinner. And I saw something in South Carolina that I thought I'd never see. The South Carolina from 1864 versus 2023 couldn't be more different. Obviously, this doesn't mean racism has been solved,
No, it's slow to change.
as there will always be remnants of the past in the present. But like Don said, we can't spend our life living in the past.
How long ago, I don't know, but as you can see, it's coming up through the grave. So, interesting.
Very unique. And it might be in my best interest to stop comparing where I used to live to where I am now.